All right, additional thoughts on The Infamous by Mobb Deep and friends. I hope you will allow your dear old pop-up here a moment, because it's been a busy couple weeks for me lately. Overtime, work's been very busy. Having friends visit on the weekend, which has been great, but also keeps me busy. So I'm coming in a little late on this additional thoughts, but that's okay. The first note I have, and I think probably the most important and one of the most kind of coincidental, is I said on the reaction that I was kind of losing interest early because I just done All Eyez on Me by Tupac, and that's a long gangster rap album. This is another long gangster rap album, and I like to change it up. But it was cool to hear these two projects back to back, because the contrast that exists between that album and this album is so vast, even though the content in terms of like lyrically what's going on is pretty similar, and with All Eyez on Me, from what I understand, Tupac had just gotten out of jail a couple weeks prior, and you can hear that like joy and energy and high and thrill, right? While he's tearing off saying all this crazy gangster shit. It's just that contrast to me is so wild. That album, to hear somebody say some of the most ruthless things I've ever heard, honestly, because they're so honest. Like everything he said, I believe he's going to do, or at least try to do. But to then hear him have so much joy, well, it's like fucking wild. But then you drop into Mobb Deep, and it's cold, it's rough, it's uncomfortable, there's no joy, there's no celebration. And, gangster rap, through this journey in hip-hop, I've really, have learned, understood what's going on in the music rather than the cliche bullshit ideas I used to have, right? Like, it's all about violence and drugs and bitches and chains, right? All that stupid shit. Like, I have a much broader understanding and appreciation for that genre. And I enjoy it, but it's not quite my thing. It's not something I can connect with easily. And two, there's just a lot of themes that there's just not a lot of parallels between gangster rap, myself, what I like to listen to, etc. But I like this one. I like this one quite a bit. I was thinking, do I say I enjoy it more than Illmatic? Like, do I toss a crazy hot take out there and then be like, oh, no, I'm not saying it's better, I just enjoy it more? That stupid bullshit that I like to pull. I think, too, with this album, one of my favorite tracks in terms of, like, that era of rap is Fourth Chamber, right? Wu-Tang off of Liquid Swords. Great song. And I just love the cold feel of that beat. And there's been some great gangster rap. Protect Your Neck is a fucking awesome one. Give Me the Loot is probably one of the best ever, honestly, that I've heard so far. But I love this album in the sense of the cold, cramped, achy misery production that's happening. The album feels like it sounds. And every now and then, what's really cool, and I didn't really catch on to this early in the reaction, you get these little lines from either Prodigy or from Havoc. They're not having fun. This is not a good situation. They're not happy. This is miserable. This is rough. It's hard exterior. It's wondering how the hell are we going to get out of this. It stays in its lane. With other albums, and I don't have a problem when other albums do this. They got their heavy song, they got their chill song, they got their crazy song, their emotional song. They kind of go all over the place, right? Touch all the different bases. This one doesn't do that. And I think because of that, you stay in that feel, and you just stay in these cold canyons of buildings that is Queensbridge and New York City and all this shit. And people talked about Liquid Swords, which is why I bring this up. You're talking about Liquid Swords and how it was like the winter album because of the feel. This just feels like winter. Constantly. Cold, dark, in the shadows, low lighting, never know what's going to happen next, head on a swivel type of thing. It just feels like that all the time. I was thinking about, there's a movie, The Irishman. There's no relation here at all, but there's a scene where Al Pacino and the other guy, they're kind of getting into it, and he's talking about New York, and he's like, they're down in Florida. He's talking about how the weather is so beautiful. And he just kind of makes a statement of, in my mind, it's always 8 degrees in New York. That's what this is. It's New York. It's 8 degrees. It's fucking bitter, And what's strange about this album for me too is it kind of has this element of, like, I would never think to myself, I can put this album on and relax. And it's not like after a long, hard day, oh, yay, finally some Mobb. It's more of I'm driving home, I'm tired, I'm kind of fed up with things, and I put this on, and I feel like mentally I have permission to stop caring. I'm just going to shut off. Fuck all of this. Shutting off. And this album really, really does that. And there's a strange parallel, in my opinion, with metal, because sometimes I feel like people don't understand metal, and how can you listen to all this loud, crazy shit? It's kind of just this version of expelling these things without necessarily going crazy. You can feel your own rage and anger and frustration being screamed out through the speakers. This one does the same thing in the essence of, God, I'm fucking fed up. And I don't mean to laugh, because that's not something to laugh at, but I find it somewhat silly that here I am at this point in my life listening to this album while I'm coming home after a 14-hour day, tired, frustrated, annoyed, and I can put this on and it almost takes the edge off, which is essentially the opposite of what I would expect from something like this. I don't know if any of that made any sense, but there you go. There you go. Survival of the Fittest, amazing track. Give Up the Goods. It was cool to kind of catch my own samples. I talked about the J. Cole song. Give Up the Goods, I think, is where it's sampled from. Long as I'm alive, I'm going to live illegal. And that's sampled in the Sublime track that I talked about. So that was cool to find a couple of those in real time. Trife Life, I love. Hectic, I think, is my favorite track. And I mentioned how much I love it and how few listens it has, and it's like a crime, honestly. But it was cool to see in the comments about other people love Hectic too. That one to me is kind of like the epitome of everything this album is. Just that cold, dark, that distant saxophone. It's just fucking amazing. Amazing. Right Back At You is also really, really good. Shook Ones, of course, is great. And the thing I love about this album too is it executes what it is. Top to bottom. No bullshit, no sidetracks, no experimenting. And I love experimentation. I love it when people try new things. But sometimes there's something to be said of just fucking straight down the middle. Simple, to the point, get it done. That's The Infamous by Mobb Deep, in my opinion. And people have said, what's the other album? Hell on Earth is another great one. I've got this question here on my notes. Favorite gangster rap album? Probably. I don't know, though. I need to put on 36 Chambers again, because 36 Chambers is fucking amazing. I need to listen to Illmatic again. It's been a while. But I like the feel of this one. I like the tone, the mood, like I've already said, hard exterior, but every now and then it's like someone comes up for air and kind of almost yells out, help. Not bold, not in your face, not very obvious, but just these simple little lines are coming through where the people are describing, this sucks. I'm not having fun. Okay. There you go. There's Mobb Deep, The Infamous. Tomorrow is the new Drake album. And honestly, I'm kind of excited because this will be the first time I sit down and listen to Drake without anybody telling me it's Drake at its best, it's shit, it's mid. No one has any opinions because no one's heard it. Well, actually, I'm sure plenty of you have opinions already. But no one's heard it. No one can tell me anything. So I look forward to sitting down tomorrow for all the dogs by Drake. He gets a fresh, clean slate to see if he can win me over. I'm not a huge Drake fan, as long as you guys know. I'm not a Drake. Well, maybe I am a hater, and I just don't realize I'm a hater. But anyway, I look forward to listening to it. Do I live stream it? I might live stream it. We'll see how I feel in the morning. We'll see. I'll check the old Twitter. Yeah, we'll see. I might live stream that tomorrow. Yeah, or not. Who knows? I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. Yeah. All right. Take care, guys. We'll see ya.